This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes. It contains few facts, little wisdom, and no epiphanies. It is merely the opinions, guesses, and hypotheses of the host. Okay. Welcome to WNYBIG presents the Hominin X Inquiry, the afternoon chill. Hi guys. So I have some time this afternoon since I'm off today, since Mike and I are doing the presentation in Caledonia later on this evening. And so I figured I'd try out this new streaming thing. I'm a little confused about it. It's a little different than StreamYard. And no, I'm not talking to you, Molly. I'm doing a live stream. She does that to me all the time. Joseph? Um, so I'm here to test this out, man. I was hoping you guys would help me test it out because it's a little different than StreamYard. Um, Actually, it's a lot different than StreamYard. Number one, with StreamYard, I could actually just do record videos and not make them live. This is just purely live streaming. So I'm trying to figure out everything, and that's why I don't know why the intro didn't play. Because apparently I had to click on something that I didn't click on. I mean, you heard the music, I'm sure, but the actual intro didn't play. So, but I'll figure that out. So, welcome to Angel and Danny so far. Hey, at least you guys showed up. So, I think what I'm going to end up doing is I also want to check out because I'm not sure how to put guests on here, but I think what'll happen is um, if I click this and then I click copy, and then I think I can paste it in here, and I think that will give the link right there. So, oh, didn't hear the music either, Angel? Wow. Huh. I'll have to figure that out. Um, you guys can hear me, obviously, so that's cool. So that's the link. So, and it's the same thing as with um, StreamYard about the camera thing. I'm pretty sure there is a place there, stop video, where you can click it if you didn't want to. I kind of want to get somebody to click that link and see if the guest pops up or how it notifies me that I have the guest popping up to see. I know we can do this just like StreamYard. Danny says I'm supposed to be at the flea market right now, but my ride didn't show up. Huh. I wonder if they're selling a lot of fleas at that market. So yeah, this new streaming app. Excuse me. Little confusing because I can schedule it for later. Figured out how to do that. That's very similar to StreamYard. You do it and then schedule it, and it'll pop up as an upcoming live. But when it came to starting it, it's supposed to start at 12:30. I thought that the little play button arrow up in this left-hand corner would light up at 12:30, and it didn't. So what you have to do apparently with this is at the scheduled time, you have to start using the stuff you have down here. Like I have to put the logo up and then play that. And then that's when the little button will light up and say start. So that was a little confusing. That's why we started at 12:31, Danny, instead of 12:30. Because I was trying to figure out how am I supposed to go live now that it's scheduled. So, but I figured that out. I'm hoping that somebody shows up that can come on camera. I know, Angel, you don't like this. I mean, like I said, you guys can turn your camera off. And I wonder if it shows, hey, Martin, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm just testing out this streaming, seeing how it works. This is kind of like hands-on learning. Because I'm never the guy that goes through all the tutorials that they have for this thing. I actually might go into this. Is called Be Live. And so I might go to their thing and see what some of the suggestions are that they have and some of the explanations on how to use this streaming. I'm figuring it out. I'm a little old lonesome by trial and error. All right, these are you can select orientation before going live. So we're on the big one. What's this one? Oh, don't tell me you can't. Yeah, that's group. Oh, that's how you widen it. There you go. I was wondering, and what's this? Oh, that's presentation. All right. I'm just looking at my different little screen styles. And if I go there, that shows, that's just a little screen. I don't know which one I like better, guys. I think I like it like that better. What? Danny says when you click the stupid link, it's saying link unavailable. What? Oh, crap. Let me see. Hang on. This says create new link. Let's see what happens there. Your link will become invalid. Your current link will become invalid. Would you like to proceed? Okay. So, did it create a new one? I think that's a new one. Okay, so, all right. Let's copy that link. Copied to the guest board, clipboard. Let's try this again. Paste. Send. Oh, holy crap, you're right, Angel. You know what? I didn't even notice that. It is reversed. I wonder how I could. I wonder. Camera. In order to do anything like that, they want me to upgrade. I'm not changing my plan yet until I know I like this. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to reverse it either. Back the way it should be. Oh my God. Look at that. It is backwards. I don't like that. I don't like that. I got to figure out how. I got to figure out how to change that. I can't do it through the thing, the little camera button here. Settings. What are settings? Guests. Broadcast. Oh, this also says I broadcast on Amazon Live. I get a free Amazon. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to switch the camera. Oh, hang on. Where are you? There you are. There you are.
Oh God, I look like crap. Can you cut the camera off on this mother?
So, hang on. I'm trying to figure out how.
Hey, it worked. It took a while, but you had to go through like 50 things to get on this time.
Let me bring me on somehow. Okay, mine's on. How do I bring you up side by side? Hang on. How do I do that? Yeah, you can hit stop camera. You don't see the little. There's no little. Wait a minute. Maybe I can do it. I just,
It's on there right now because I look like crap.
that's weird because.
But that's cool. I'll show the yard out there. As long as y'all have to see my ugly mug.
Well, at least I know I can bring guests on. Now I'm trying to figure out.
I'm grabbing another phone right now and I'm gonna log in on it and I'm gonna see what everybody else is seeing.
If I put solo on, yours goes off.
They turn the volume down on this motherfucker. There we go. Yeah, all I see is my yard. There's your face.
Yeah, I can't.
It's still not side by side.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to do that, but it's not.
Well, at least I get to be your guinea pig.
There I am. But if I put me up, it's like I can't put you next to me for some reason.
And that's what I'm seeing on the other camera. I got like 7 phones, so this is easy for me to do.
So
and there's you. See?
Yeah. Huh. So how do I make it so that we're both on? I'm looking at these other camera picture in picture. That's not working.
Yeah, I have to say, so far I think StreamYards is like 100 times better.
Yeah, the problem I have with StreamYard is that they're not letting me upgrade it to the plan that I used to have. It's weird because when I did this whole screw up this last time by resetting my computer, I lost my StreamYard. And when I tried to get it back, for some reason I was on the free plan again all of a sudden. I tried to get back to the basic plan, which is what I had, and they wouldn't let me. And so I had to create a whole new account. So I tried creating a whole new account, starting fresh, and just go with the basic plan for $20 a month. And they wouldn't let me buy it. They were saying something was about my card being from outside the United States, and it's not. And it was the card that I used to pay for it the last time anyway. So I don't know. So I can't even get StreamYard right now, it seems like, except for the free plan.
Well, the free plan is better than nothing, but
Well, it may be. That's why I'm testing this, and I might think that the StreamYard free plan for now might actually be better. You can't do as much as with the basic, but at least I could have you on here, which I don't understand how
you don't got a button that says share screen on it or something?
Well, you know what? I'm going to. Hang on. What happens if I? No, okay, that's just a link. Screen. Window. Tires. No. Yeah, that doesn't do it. That's choose what to share with app. Yeah. Okay, so that's not it. Screen agenda. I don't know what that is. Interview template.
Greetings, Nikki.
No,
that's still what I'm saying.
This thing is just, yeah, it doesn't make sense that I can't bring you up as well.
At least I got on. The first time I tried to click it, you saw what it done. I thought it was usually like cussing me out for trying to get on.
Yeah, at least I have your audio. I have all these other little screen configurations, but none of them seem to be. That's half screen, picture in picture. And it's weird because if I go, as soon as I try to put your camera on, now see, that says start, stop. Okay. And then I go off.
Wow, I got kicked. Okay.
There's nothing.
It's still on. It just kicked me out though.
Really?
Yeah, but not on my on the other phone. Whenever you done something, it kicked it for a minute. I had to go back on. I guess because they're both on the same channel.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let me switch over to the blog.
There should be a way to bring us both up at the same time. Because that makes no sense to have a guest on with you.
Okay. I'm on a different channel now. I'm on the Daily Dan blog on the other phone. Hey, so now you're getting like 2 sets of views off the same guy. There you go.
Yeah. And look, now everything is the right way instead of backwards. Now you can actually read it. So that Martin is ready to join. Okay, hang on, Martin. Let me find you. And let's see how this works. Is that Martin? Are you there's Martin. Can you hear me, Martin? Something's going on here. I don't have Martin.
It looks like if he is there, he looks like he's in a closet because all I see is a dark spot.
Yeah, all I see is black. Yeah.
Martin, come out of the closet. Somewhere I just heard Nikki start laughing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that let's go off on that one. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's what was going on here. Okay, I just lost Martin again. If I turn that, that's me. This is very confusing, this streaming. It is very confusing because I'm not. I hear you. Oh, wait.
God, y'all see the picture though.
There's that. Hang on. Let me see if where is where are you, Martin? There you are. Hang on. There's Martin. But how do I go back to where I was?
And then you hit him right when he's taking a big swig.
Martin. Martin. I don't. Oh man, I thought I almost had it there. I thought I almost had it. But now if I turn me on, that doesn't make any damn sense. There's that.
There's Martin Dragon. That's how far behind it is.
Son of a gun. This is not even what I wanted, man. This is wow.
Have you ever heard of one called Prism?
No.
There's a stream service called Prism. My friend who does the wrestling live stream, whenever StreamYards is giving him troubles, he goes on this thing called Prism. And it seems to work just like StreamYards.
Line up. I don't even know how to get back to where I was now.
I don't see much to the program myself on this side. Oh.
It's funny because I can see you down below where I have everything lined up that tells me what's in stream. And
wait a minute. Okay, I see what you're doing.
That one shouldn't be on anymore. And then there's 3 on stream. So that would be me, you, and Dan. So, but that doesn't, even if I turn those off, it doesn't seem like it makes a difference.
What am I doing?
Because, hang on. See, there's solo off. But when I click for you, it brings you up, but it gets rid of me, and I can't do anything with these streams.
Can't do that.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
None of it does.
Why? And then there's Danny's backyard.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh,
I see it all on the site, but it's not on YouTube.
So that's weird, man. I mean, that would be a real pain in the butt for me to have to go, so what do you think, Martin? And then bring you up, and then you say your thing, and then it'll be like, well, okay, but let's go back to Danny. And I mean, that would drive me nuts doing all
let's go to Mickey's.
I don't understand why you can't bring side by side. Like, I mean, with StreamYard, it was easy. You just click on the guest and they pop up next to you.
Let's see if I can find something there.
So that is, that's crazy. And, well, the one thing about this, at least it says when somebody does click the link, that it says so-and-so is ready to join the stream. And it's funny, I got your audio, no problem, but I can't get you on camera unless I put you up solo.
And you can't click the tabs, right? The camera's on the app.
Yeah, these ones up top, it just says line up, which is that one. That one says group, but it's still group. Yeah, see, it's just, that doesn't make any sense.
It's really weird because all I see on the bottom is.
Yeah. What happened? Whoa. Did Martin just go bye-bye?
No, Martin's right there.
That was weird. On my phone, on the one where the stream is, he just totally vanished for like 60 seconds.
I think it's because I clicked the little check mark next to it. See, it's got on my screen, I'm seeing for each of these things that I have up here and the cameras, it says solo on, and that turns my camera up. Look at that. There we go. What the hell? How'd I do that? Oh no, Old brain, what did you do? What
Hey,
did
wait
you
a minute.
do? Something I did with the group thing, and then I clicked this and clicked that.
Oh,
And
wait a
shut it off.
minute. Okay, hold on. Chrome didn't have permission to capture my screen.
So there we go.
I got to go to the
Ah,
preference.
Now all I gotta do is figure out how to keep.
Okay,
doing
what I
that.
did is I hit screen, or hit that screen on the left. Yeah, there you go. And I hit the top one on the share, and then I canceled it. And then maybe that helps you. I don't know.
No, that confuses me even more, Martin. I have no freaking. I'm just happy that I've accomplished this much so far. But I don't know, man. I'm thinking, should I continue to try to use this? I mean, it's cheaper than StreamYard per month
Is it?
by a little bit, yeah. But StreamYard seems to be a lot easier now. See, it's a learning curve, man. All I got to do is figure out how I did that, and I did it somehow. I don't know how.
uh,
Hang on, I see that little check mark is on me. How about where are you? Oh no, that's not it. There's me. There's you. Yeah, there's Martin, and then there's that. All the little check marks is checked, and it
Oh,
says,
cool. Okay.
but each one says solo off. But the little check mark switch clicker thingy,
Right, because if it
is
had
on.
solo on, only
So
if it had solo on, only one.
I had to. It must have been when I did the group thing somehow, and then click solo off on all those, but click the little red thing. Okay. All right. Wow. You know, the little red check mark. Oh, well, actually, the check mark
Right.
itself is white, but it's a red button with a white check mark.
Well, don't do too bad. Not on the app side.
Has nothing to do with red circles and arrows. Hey, maybe I could figure this out better if there were red circles and arrows.
no.
Yeah, but
There's
that
some kind of crap at the bottom on
on
my screen on the bottom. There's some kind of crap that's got like little stars and all kind of stuff. I'm afraid to touch anything. I'm afraid it'll kick me out.
Yeah,
Hold on, I'm gonna take a pic. I'm gonna take my other phone
that has to do with your
and I'm gonna take a picture of what I'm seeing.
Martin is ready to share screen.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
Well, what that is the screen that's on your desktop.
And I'm trying to figure out where that is.
And that's what I'm seeing on the bottom.
Well, I didn't
I don't know
open
what
it
the
up.
hell that is.
When you
Dan.
See
hit
all that crap?
screen,
I'm afraid to touch any of that crap.
Like if I click this one, it'll just share that. And then I can turn it off and remove it. That would have been my tab to the left on my monitor.
You know what? Hang on a second. Let me see. Where was that again? God damn. Was it that one? Oh, okay. I was wondering if it had to do with me up here with screen. If you shared something, I'd have to look at it there. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Chrome doesn't have permission to capture your screen. Please go to sister. What?
That's only if you turn that screen sharing off and you never started it. It'll do that.
Yeah, Angel. Yeah, I'm confused too. So I don't know. You said something about solo. Yeah, I know, and it just I don't know. Yeah, I know. Solo means one, right? So you would think that if I turned it on, I would know that it would be solo, not Han Solo. So yeah, the little red. I'm afraid to touch anything else now. This is going so well. I'm afraid to actually touch anything.
So it's time to get some objectives, isn't it, Joe?
What's that?
It's time to get some objectives, isn't it?
Yeah, objectives.
Yep.
Yeah, I forget where do you say you? What part of the country are you in, Martin?
I'm in Illinois.
Where?
Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where the accent comes from.
Yeah, I'm stuck here. And we just got our new laws passed. Anybody can get on your property and take anything they want, sleep in your shed, and you can't arrest them. They move in your house.
You can shoot them and bury them out in the woods.
They
passed what?
We're talking about getting out of here.
You can't defend your property?
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
As long as they're not hurting you, they can do what they want.
Well, it's against the law to steal, period.
Yeah, I know, but you can't do nothing to them if they're not harming you. That's the
I don't got to do nothing to them. My dog will eat their ass.
And then the governor made illegal immigrants able to be police officers. Check that out.
So
I wore my NRA shirt today when I went out.
I think the last time I was in Illinois was boot camp, because that's where I went to boot camp. Was Great Lakes.
Was it really?
And I went in the coldest part of the year. At least that's what I thought anyway. It was like March, and we were wearing 2 pairs of utilities out on the grinder in the morning roll, man. And it's like, because it was really, really cold. I was like, I'm 17 years old, and I'm like, I am not going to survive this. But I did.
I hadn't been up in that part of the country since the 80s.
The only problem is we don't get name tags, right?
Oh, sure you do. Yeah, mine, Actually, they're stencils. You gotta stencil all your stuff, So all my stuff was stenciled Snyder.
The Snyder clan. Here we go.
My brother's nickname was Nido. My brother Robert, he's passed now, a few years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
His nickname was Nido because I believe, as the story goes, he was somewhere in Italy, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and there was a little girl that tried to pronounce his last name Snyder, but it came out Nido. Instead of Snyder, it came out Nido. And so that was his nickname from then on, was Nido. He even had that stenciled on his chambres, on his work utilities.
It's like me when I was a little kid, I nicknamed everyone. I came up with some good ones, yeah.
Yeah, I've had the nickname Satch for since I was in 7th grade, I guess it was. That was not an English teacher, but it was a teacher, one of my teachers in 7th grade, who gave me that nickname. And I forgot and it's not from Louis Armstrong like Satchmo. It was from some character in some TV show that he was talking about. And then the character's name was Satch, and he said I reminded him of that character. So I got Satch.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Then on.
I don't know. I don't watch TV though.
I don't anymore.
I don't know why. It's just.
So, hey Joe, in your lifetime, how many one day at a time TV show jokes have you been laid on you?
Oh, one day at a time.
Yeah, the guy on that show was Snyder.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that a lot, but it's like, I'm like, but dude, it's like those are 2 different names. It's 2 different spellings. It's really it's 2 different spellings of the same name, really. Snyder is just the Dutch version of Schneider. So technically, I'm not German. I'm actually Dutch.
I'm everything. Everything royal.
Yeah, I'm a European mutt, basically. According to my DNA, I'm just a European mutt. I'm got a little bit of everything over there, except for no French, but there is Scottish and Dutch and
That's
English.
me.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix.
Yeah, that's like me. I'm a mixed royal, so we ought to get along pretty good. I'm Scottish, Dutch. My grandfather was an Indian Cherokee chief.
Yeah, when I was a kid, man, I had so wished that there was some kind of Native American blood in my family, because I was just fascinated by the history of New York and the Iroquois and all that stuff. My seventh grade
Mm-hmm.
history teacher, because I transferred from one school out in Webster. I just started seventh grade. I was about halfway through seventh grade. We moved, and so I went into seventh grade in Nunde at Chesapeake. And my history teacher, Tom Cook, man, he's the one that I credit having the most influence on me about history.
Oh,
And
really?
especially like local history and the indigenous Iroquois and stuff. And
I never could get into that kind of history. I got into science more than I did history.
well, I would, you know what?
When
I
I
mean,
go into the history, I go into the history of the science that I like. It
yeah, I'm on.
gave me more room up here.
I'm actually fascinated with science now. I wish I had been more interested in it when I was a kid,
Well, you really don't.
because I'd be a hell of a lot more knowledgeable about it now had I been.
Right.
You know?
Well, your frontal vortex, it doesn't really kick in until you're 25 on a lot
But
of
you know,
guys.
I do believe that
Younger.
the older you get, the harder it is to learn new stuff. I do believe it's harder to absorb things sometimes.
I don't think it is.
And
I
well,
think
the
it's
thing is,
better.
it's harder to remember it. Oh man, I mean,
Yes, it is.
and
That's
it's
why I
like,
always go over it and over it. And when you go over it and over it, you're just, it's not like you have to do it again. You're just reassuring yourself. And every time you see it, it's easier and easier.
yeah,
So I watched the same video many times, Like I watched Dr. Meldon say, and I'll go over something a million times where he says a footprint and a foot cast is empirical evidence.
right.
And then he'll say that I'll listen to that many times over, so I got it down pat. Then he'll say, but he took it through the scientific process, which makes it a harder evidence. So that he considers it as harder, even though it's empirical. But
Yeah, my office is a mess. I love Dr. Meldrum's book, Legend Meets Science, but
I don't
I
have
gotta
that
tell you,
book.
man,
I wish
right
I
here,
did.
this is the best book in my.
It's reading backwards. Hang on.
Yeah, it is a stupid camera. Anyway, it's The Discovery of the Sasquatch by Dr. John Bindernagel.
Oh, really? Okay.
One of the best.
Yeah, I think the book blogs have that
scholarly book.
John Bindernagel on there, and he was showing that book, I think.
Yeah, this is like the best book ever written, in my opinion. I like it. I saw that interview that you're talking about. They put it up. The Bookwash crew put it up. It was
I've seen those before, but it was really good to see it again because I didn't know where it was at. Yeah. And that's really good.
Who was it? Leon and Rio? Yeah.
I don't. I think it was Leon some other guy.
And they were interviewing Dr. Bindernagel, and he mentioned.
Okay. Hey Joe, I think that's a wrap for me. This phone's about to die.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for helping test this, Danny.
Ain't no thing, man. I'm glad you got it worked out a little bit.
And thanks for all those subs there, man.
I got a bunch of channels.
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. I appreciate you, man.
If you get a chance, give me one of them little wrenches so I can drop links sometime.
I don't know if I can do that with this yet, but I'm going to check.
All you gotta do is log in on your YouTube account and do it on that, and it'll be automatic.
Yeah, I'm logged in.
You can do that. You can do that on a cell phone for your channel.
Oh wait, here we go. The Daily Dan, add as moderator. Let's see.
Do it on the Danny Staten channel too. So that's the one I use the most.
There's the Daily Dan blog is now a moderator. Where is
Hold on.
Danny? You want Danny Staten?
Hold on for 1 minute. I'll switch them. Takes a second. You'll see me in the chat with Danny Staten here in a minute, probably.
Oh, I
If
see
it
Danny
works.
Staten up here. You were here. There we go.
Hold on, Danny Staten.
There. Now it says Danny Staten is now a moderator. But yeah, I like the one part in this book that he said it's a Dr.
There you go. Yeah, it worked.
Read.
It was pretty easy.
Actually, no, not
Oh,
for
it's
me
not.
anyway. Not the first time I read it. I've had to read this book several times because there is some technical scientific language in here that
Yeah, you got it.
I
Well,
was
that's
really
that's like all of it. If you
you know.
didn't go to college in that field or something.
But once you get it, man, I mean, this is one of the best books ever written on the subject, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to get that then.
Yeah, now I can get rid of the trolls when they show up. Because half the time half the time I share somebody's live stream out, I got this little jerkoid troll that's really out to get me right now because we got into it on another stream. So he goes to all the live streams I'm on with fake accounts with my pictures and says all kind of horrible shit.
Is that for real? I thought you were joking. I thought that was another
Nah,
one. You were just joking around.
We were on a stream and we got into an argument, and I said some stuff I probably shouldn't have said. I told him his mother and his father were brother and sister, and that's why he come out like that. And he got all bent out of shape. Now he made a bunch of fake accounts and doing all kind of horrible crap.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I should bite my tongue, but I don't. I told him that's why he looks so inbred.
Oh,
that was
you had to go there.
Yeah, it ain't my fault he looks like. It ain't my fault the guy looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I saw that. That was in Nikki's chat last night.
Yeah, he showed up over there.
Yeah, I seriously, I thought it was just because you had so many accounts. I thought you were just joking around or something, you know.
No, unfortunately, this guy's got more channels than I do.
Really?
He's got like 100, so he can come on all kind of different channels and say stupid shit.
Oh, he's a regular troll then.
Yeah, he's a full-time troll.
Yeah. I've got two, and that's it. I've got this one. I've got, the WNYBIG presents the Hominin X Inquiry, and then I have another. I can switch profiles to just what's called the Hominin X Inquiry. But that's it. Those are the only two I have.
I have one, and I can barely get in it, and that's it.
I found out I got so many different interests. I can't keep them all on one channel because I can't. I'd be uploading the video on it every 15 minutes.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
So I got a channel for movie stuff, and I got a channel for science fiction stuff, and I got a channel for wrestling stuff, and I got another channel where I do all my comic book stuff. Heck, my dog even has a channel.
I like the movie one, man. You come up with some pretty good ones, man.
Right now, I'm just kind of doing like Godzilla and Universal horror stuff. But later on, when I get enough subscribers, I'll go into doing really cool modern movies. You know, probably closer to Halloween, I'll start doing like Michael Myers and Jason trailers and stuff like that.
Man.
Yeah. Well, as we know, it's hard enough for me just to have one channel, man.
And I get a little behind on one once in a while, you know, but I try to be as current.
I'm always doing something to screw something up, man. So I'm going to try not to screw this one up this time.
Yeah. In case you capture something, you got to be able to put it online now. Never know.
Yeah.
Because just about every sighting out there that was really good was an accident, or it just came up out from nowhere.
Well, mine was a total accident. There's no doubt about that one.
Right.
But and I mean, there's no telling if I'm ever even if I have another encounter. Which
right.
I'll tell you genuine truth of it is, I'm not really counting on it. I just don't think it's. I mean, I do think people are having encounters. Don't get me wrong. I do think they're having encounters, but I don't think they're as much or as often as it seems to be.
Well, I think it is. I think it's just that.
I think you're lucky if you get to actually see one ever.
Well, you see, now I can say
I don't think that's lucky at all.
I've had two really good, honest Bigfoot sightings. When I was 11 years old, I saw Bigfoot. And a few years ago, I was in the woods and I saw Bigfoot. I saw a creature, right?
Yeah.
But I've had other things, like I saw something look over a fence that I think was a Bigfoot. Or a couple, like 4 days ago, 5 days ago, I'd heard something and I went down with a flashlight and was looking around. And right when the flashlight hit it, something got up and took off. But I put in the video, yeah, that was Bigfoot. But I couldn't swear that was Bigfoot because all I saw was a black shape. All I saw was a black hairy shape get up and take off. But it was 8 foot. 8 foot tall.
Where was that at?
And I live in South Carolina.
Okay. Were you in town, or I mean, close to the edge of town?
I live way out in the country in South Carolina, in the woods.
Well, it's not like I don't think. I mean, I think that if I do ever encounter it again, I'll be lucky. I don't think it's going to be like the first one I had in 2020, man. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think if I ever see another one again, it'll probably be from a distance. It's probably going to be like, well, was that one? Or,
Yeah.
I seen something moving upright. It was dark. I mean, I think it's going to be something like that, maybe.
Well, but
I don't care what it is, as long as I catch it on camera.
Well,
you got guarantee I'm going to get anything really on camera. That's the thing.
You have objective really rooted into you, Joe. When you have that, when you get out there, objective is reality, and so you got that reality. So when you get out there, you're going to know the difference. I mean, you really got it rooted in. So
Bigfoot's not the only thing I've actually seen, and Bigfoot's not the only thing I've caught. I've actually caught some weird stuff on camera. I caught this demon-looking thing one night growling. You should see that video because I still don't know what the heck that thing was. It looked like something from a horror movie. Big glowy head with giant teeth, and I caught the whole thing on camera. And then I was in the woods. Somebody had said they saw a dog man, and I was doing a dog man investigation.
Yeah.
And I was walking through the woods, and I seen this thing, and I wouldn't call it a dog man, but it was some kind of mutated canine creature, a deranged dire wolf or something. It looked exactly like that damn thing from American Werewolf in London.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was up on a tree like it was going for a squirrel. And when it saw me, it dropped down on all fours and took off. I got that on camera, but it's so far away, you barely can make it out. But it was a freaky looking creature.
Which channel do you have this one on? These on?
All my videos like that are on the Daily Dan blog.
Daily Dan, that's okay.
People want to check them out. You have to look for them, but they're on there. All you got to do is type in Daily Dan, Palmetto Dog Man. And that video will come up.
You know me, Dan. You got a long way to go to convince me about Dogman stuff.
Now, like I said, I'm not saying in my heart it was a Dogman. I'm saying
that you're making it up either. I believe you.
People said they saw a Dogman. I went out to investigate, and what I saw was not what I'd call a Dogman. What I saw was some kind of mutated wolf or canine creature. It looked like a giant wolf that had got a hold of radiation and it messed it up and turned it into Godzilla wolf.
Now that I would like to see, man.
And that's what I saw. But I got it on camera, but it was so far away you have to really, really zoom in to check it out.
It's funny because there are some things in this world that people claim are real. And I don't have any evidence, but I think about it. I'm like, a lot of it, that would be really cool, man. If the world was that magical, man, I would love for, but at a distance. I mean, I don't want to see these things like right up close, like
Wait until they bring the mammoth back.
Standing like Roswell.
Wait until they bring the mammoth back, and let's look at the first guy that sees it. I want to film that.
Imagine if Mothman was a real thing, man. That'd be cool seeing a Mothman flying around.
Right.
Well, my favorite one I want to know about is Brent's tree octopus. Yeah, that's a big thing now, the tree octopus.
That's probably a bowl of snakes.
They hang out in trees, man.
They do.
They drop on you when you least expect it. They only live in the Northwest, though, apparently.
Well, unless somebody lets their snakes out, we've seen pythons in trees here. It's like cats have been loose, and they're all over the place now. We do get mountain lions that come through, and I used to get them running. My other place I lived at, they used to come up and jump on my roof and run across it.
Well, it's like our friend Matt from Central Florida.
And that little ones too, little bitty house cat.
I would love to go, meet Matt in person and get out, but Florida scares me.
Oh, does it? I used to live in
Dude, Florida has the most, and I don't know if this is true, but to me, it seems like Florida has the most invasive species of any state. It's like they've got animals there that weren't native to there, but now they're there. I mean, and that's on top of the ones that always were there, like the alligators, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now you've got boas and pythons and stuff out there, man. That it's like, wow, dude. No,
I went around a little bit when I lived there, but I was mostly down on the Air Force Base.
Next thing you know, Florida's going to have kangaroos because, I swear that's what we call it. Florida is America's Australia, dude. Every animal out there is there to eat you. In my eyes. Gators, I have a very serious respect and fear of alligators, man. Those reptiles, they have a little tiny brain, dude, and there's no thought to that brain. It's just survive. And
okay, I found this short called Face of the Beast close up, and this is the thing that was, I don't know what it is. Well,
let's get to it.
There's the back of your camera.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not watching anything. You mean what's that?
Yeah.
Something Danny recorded.
See the reflection of that.
see, it's like glowy ass eyes. Well, anyway, you should pull that up on YouTube if you want to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Face of the Beast close up. It's a short on the Daily Dan blog, and there's actually a full video for that.
And that
I clipped that short out of a video. And,
is that the noise that was making all that sound?
yeah, it sounded like a demon, man.
Huh.
Never saw nothing like that in my life. It's only happened one time in years I've been here.
It's kind of weird.
I've heard that sound before, but I'd never seen it but that once. And I felt real lucky I got it on camera that night. And I've been trying ever since to catch it again, but I've been failing miserably.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ever going to get anything on camera. I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to go out and keep filming.
Well, the freakiest thing that's happened lately is one of my neighbors about a half mile on the other side of these woods right here got attacked by something. They said it, and the authorities said it was a bear. but he got mauled real bad. And this was last week. Now, right after he got mauled, you know how they call them hospital helicopters to carry people to the hospital when they're bad off?
Yeah, medevac.
It wasn't the hospital that showed up. It was two of them great big old military helicopters with the double blades. They landed in the field. They loaded him in one of them and took him out of here. And then military guys, Army guys, were all in the woods for 3 or 4 hours. And then they took off. I got the helicopters landing on camera. And it was that same night that I saw something in the woods.
Huh.
But they was Army guys all up in this area for like 3 or 4 hours walking around with machine guns.
Huh.
And I never heard of a military helicopter coming to take somebody to the hospital before.
Unless he was associated with the military.
Well, that actually happens here because when the medical isn't available, the military are starting to do it now.
I'm glad you said that because that makes me feel a little bit more like it might have been an order. But then again, it kind of punctures the bubble of it being something special.
Okay.
It was kind of both ways.
Right.
Well, I thought that was some stuff, But if it happens regularly, well, damn.
Well, the thing of it is, they go out into the woods right after that. Now, the guy said something to him.
And these wasn't your normal, just like reserve-looking guys, These were like heavy-duty special forces guys with the headphones and the packs and all that stuff.
Maybe it was an alien.
Yeah, some people might say Bigfoot's an alien, but
I don't believe that.
When I was looking at it.
It all comes down to, like I said, evidence, man. We need evidence. I need evidence for everything, man. I need evidence for the shit that I see. I mean,
well, anyway, this phone's saying 4% and it's starting to flash the birdie symbol at me or something.
Uh-oh.
Like I'm fucked. So I'm gonna get off this phone and get on my other phone, and when I do, I'll come back on the stream and I'll drop a couple of links for them videos in the chat.
All right.
So you can get a chance to check them out.
Cool.
So, well, okay. Now, what did I do to? I guess that was it. I don't know.
I don't know either. Oh, there we go. All right, he managed to find it. I think you just have to click the X.
I think you just close the page.
Yeah, close it. Yeah. But yeah. No, what you were mentioning earlier, Martin. That's the one thing about me, and I think with anybody that has an encounter too, is from then on you have to be the utmost careful and objective in how you think.
Exactly.
Having had an encounter,
exactly.
When I go out there, it would be so much easier for me to fall into confirmation bias.
Right.
Everything I see, or
I stay good. I'm goofy a lot.
Something, or every noise I hear, it's Bigfoot.
Exactly.
And it's and that's where I don't want to be like, if it is, fine. Let me find out if it is, and let me.
Well, the thing of it is, when you take guys like you and I that have seen them, you have no choice but to be objective. That's what you do because it's reality. It's something that's serious. It's something that's real. So you basically, you look at it and you say, what in the world was that? You're shaking after a couple of months, and then you go online. When I finally found it online 20 years ago, I was looking at everybody, and the only thing I could do was I was looking and watching all these shows. I've been watching 20 years. I'm not new to this, believe me. And I would watch them, and I would be like, just like everybody else went through. It's like, oh, really? Could that be it? And you start falling for this big woo stuff, and then all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute, the same stuff is going on over and over and over. definitely, something's wrong here. This is all fake, this ain't right. They're just wanting views, the Big Bang dollar. And then pretty soon you're thinking, well, what can you do? You feel all alone because all them years you're sitting there looking, and you start getting scientific and you start looking at, like I say, human evolution. So, you don't just stick with human evolution. Of course, there's that besides your evidence that you gather and you mix it up. But when you're sitting there watching these people, pretty soon they're starting to talk a little scientific, or they say one little thing scientific, and you think, all right, yeah, that's it. Come on, come on. And then all of a sudden they stop. And then everybody, I've seen, I don't know how many people that had tried to come in and talk with all these people online to tell their story. And, they were denied. And they come online and they make their own story, and they only put one story out, and that's it, in case you want it. But you got to try to dig those up. It would take forever to dig those up on YouTube. So I think the majority of real sightings and good sightings, long sightings, some that seem bizarre from the normal Kool-Aid that you see online, are still out there.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to put a channel in that's going to pick up them stories to have those people come forth. And it must be made real clear between objective, that the objective doesn't mean when we do a interview with someone, we're not objective at that time whatsoever. We only do that at the experiment stage, and that's between two scientists or one, or whoever it is that's going to be conducting that. And you always keep that in your method. So in other words, if you come on and we go through somebody and they got something that they said and you don't believe it, you say something with objective logic. Yeah. And when you say something with that objective logic, and you might say that, yes, it's true with your objective logic. I might say, well, okay, as a citizen scientist, it's my job then to put some subjective difference into that and say, well, it's this, it's not true. And you might use subjective logic as well. And we could use subjective or objective back and forth. This is the test. This is the experiment to what we're going to do to see if it's possibly true. And if it's true, we come to the conclusion that it's true according to our rules that we lay in our criteria, and then we can add it to our data. And then we can analyze it and come to a conclusion. And then we can put it in our data files. And then we can take our data files and we do that. That's all empirical evidence, including sightings. All evidence is empirical evidence. Okay. Your non-empirical evidence is it's things that's not reality, which is things that are like
things that aren't testable, like
what they are is other people's theories. And you could do, that's where you do research on that side. You have empirical on one side and non-empirical on the other. And on the non-empirical, you look at everybody else's hypotheses and you study them and you get them and you write them down. And then you take all the evidence that you gathered on this other side, or, and that you got from observers, and observers' evidence too. But you can't take it from like a story that's relayed. If it's relayed from anybody else except for the actual observer, then it's anecdotal. You don't want to use it. And you don't want to go back on all of these, how do I want to say this to make myself clear in the methods? Don't go back to all of these stories that are online now. Because what happens is if the host says, oh, yeah, I've seen that before, I heard about that, so I believe you, boom, immediately throw it away. It's no good. You cannot speak of any other, you don't want to speak of any other person's sightings or, evidence or anything like that. You just want to listen to that person and that person alone. If you want to do empirical evidence, or if you want to do qualitative or quantitative, is what you got to set out to do. I mean, you're going to do both. Now, if you're qualitative, when you go through it, you're gonna go through and get basics. Those are things that you get, like if you put an essay out and you have 5 or 10 questions, and you give that person in that interview those 5 or 10 questions, and you'll see that basically is the same thing as what I call it the what is his name? Steenberg files.
Oh yeah,
now Steenberg does that, and then he also has questions that are qualitative, which means that are for the what you would call subjective side, but it's not subjective as reasoning, but it's the subjective that we want to do when it comes to finding a new species that we don't have any information on. Our subjective side is a whole different way. Then we'll run the whole thing over again, but we'll do it on, and we'll just gather a detailed information from that person. So when we grab that detailed information from that person of the story, we have it. Now, all the evidence that we've collected from all the people is the empirical evidence. Okay, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. But I want to express it and write the word yet, because we're going to use those because we're not done with our experiment yet. Sure. And then when we go to our empirical side, and what we want to do is we want to collect that in a mathematical side, which is mathematical using your positivism scientific philosophy. And then so we could say how many sightings there were, how many were this color or how many was that color. This is all the stuff that we get from questions that are based on questionnaires and things like that. Okay, was it rainy? How many were there? How tall was it? These are things that we can add up, and they're very quick. And if I had the Steenberg files, I would get all of those. And then I would go into what's called subjective logic. Not subjective in the way of my imagination says or bias. The subjective way, this way, is called subjective logic because we're subjected to go to, using the word subjective, but we're subjected to use the qualitative, empirical, objective evidence. So when we come up with a hypothesis, it has to match up exactly with that evidence. If it don't match up with the evidence, then it can't be used. And that there again is when we go to do that and make the hypotheses, those two citizen scientists or scientists, or 3, 4, 5, or just one, will sit down and begin to speak between each other on the test part. So when we, the first time what we're doing, we don't have a hypothesis. And what we're going to do is create a hypothesis by when we go through the second time with the hypothesis time, with the quantitative, which means much more detail, a lot of things. With that, we could create a hypothesis that we could turn around and do it over again. So you're going to run this through several times, and this is what the scientists do in order to do their homework before they go out in the field with their little notepads and stuff. People don't know what they're doing in the background. Now, there's as many different scientific methods as there are scientists. That's okay. So in today's world, there's no real one set of criteria that you have to have, but staying objective is your main key.
Well, yeah, I mean, it has to adhere to it.
Right, but you have to, eventually you'll be going into hypotheses, which is going to help you get out there to where you need to go to.
It's like my hypotheses are based solely off of what my observation was, me
That's
alone.
that's
Now,
that's
do I
objective
know how?
evidence.
And as you were saying, I can take
Yeah.
some of that evidence that we have, even like things like the footprints that have been casted of these things,
Exactly.
the descriptions of people that I actually think really did have an encounter. Now, over the years, I've heard lots and lots and lots of encounter stories. Some of them I believed, and some of them I did not. But those
Right.
ones that are consistent, I can use that along with the
Your sighting. Put yours in there.
along with what I've seen, right? And I can come up with the hypothesis that I have, which I don't know. It's not
Right.
really a full hypothesis. I mean,
Right.
and there's holes in it as far as I'm concerned, because
Right. Oh,
I
there's
can
going to be
say
holes.
that
You're going to start that way. It's going to
this
be
is
that
what
way.
I saw.
Yeah.
This is what I know from precedents in the fossil record. So I'm hypothesizing that these things stem from somewhere there. I just don't know exactly where, right? And that's the thing about the Bigfoot world, man, is that there's so many people out there that, online, it's like somebody's going to tell you that they know all about this stuff, right? There's like 5 different species of them. They do this, they do that,
There's several species. Yeah.
and you're like,
I agree. I
okay.
mean, I'm not
First
saying
of
that as a
all,
bias. That's
the
what
several
from what
different
I've observed.
species thing. Um, okay, let's just play devil's advocate and say that if one relic hominin could survive all this time alongside us, what's to say two couldn't? 2 different relic hominins, right?
Well, if one survives,
So,
different. Okay.
because here you got what the evidence is pointing to for science. And
Mhm.
what they say their evidence is pointing to is that, of course, we are the only hominin left on the planet. All the rest of them have gone extinct. Homo
Well,
erectus has gone extinct. All the different species that were in the Homo genus are all extinct. Australopithecines are all extinct. Blah 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 blah.
I find that ludicrous to think that way.
I'm thinking that it's possible. Now, I do believe that, according to the fossil record and an evidence pointing to, I do believe that those species are extinct. However, some of the more recent species, like Neanderthals supposedly didn't disappear basically until 30,000 years ago. And some say maybe 28,000 years ago. But there was a certain island, if I'm correct on this and I'm remembering it correctly, there was a certain place, and it wasn't Flores. Maybe it was Flores with the Hobbit. Maybe they were referring to
Yeah,
that.
that was a Hobbit.
It was like 28,000 years ago. Homo erectus, the last of them, may still been around.
Right.
So
Right.
there is a rule, more or less, that there's always been within the history of us. There's always been more than one species of
Yes,
hominin running around.
that's correct.
So
And
it
you know
would be
that.
a stretch to say that at least one has survived alongside us without technology. We don't know that Bigfoot, or hominin X, as I like to call it, has any technology. We don't have any evidence that they're using fire.
They
We
would have
don't have any
technology.
evidence
Well,
that
they
they're
would.
crafting stone tools or weapons or anything like that. There's no evidence of that. Now, that doesn't say that there isn't evidence of it somewhere, but we don't have it. So we assume that they just, they in a way they behave just like any other animal, like a bear would. They
Right.
don't cook their meat. They don't use weapons. Apparently, somehow they,
Well, as big and robust as they are, you'll see other carnivores do the same. Look at a bear, for example. He don't need a tool.
Well, of
A
course, but
lion
bears
doesn't need
have
a
huge
tool.
claws.
And he's out there, and he's the king. He's the king of the field. He
But,
doesn't need a tool.
well, the thing is with me is that if these things, and undoubtedly they have to have a certain level of intelligence.
Oh yeah.
Now, in my hypothesis, though, if they suppose if they were some form of human species, maybe their own, not, there are people that swear, oh, they're Homo sapiens. There's no evidence of that. And what I saw, I don't.
No, they're not. They're not. If
But,
they were Homo sapiens, you wouldn't even known that you've seen something that was different because it looked just like one of us.
But anyway,
I don't care if you're born out in the wild, you stayed out there your whole life, doesn't mean you're going to come back full of hair.
Right. Well, the thing is,
a little hairier, thicker, but you're not going to come back full of hair. That's a genetic disease.
I find it odd. I find it odd that there isn't any evidence. Because I'm thinking if they were, and this may be part of the hypothesis that I'm incorrect, because I'm thinking if they were in the Homo genus, well, what is one common thing amongst the species of the Homo genus? They made tools and they used fire. So it seems odd to me that if this thing was anywhere close to being the Homo genus, why wouldn't it do the same things?
It might.
It's
like down here.
There's no. The problem is there's no evidence.
Right. It's like down here in my area, where I had my sighting at. You walk back into them woods so far back into the forest. You have to be real careful, especially when you're mushroom, because when you walk back in there, it's just pitch dark. There's probably snakes and everything. And when you walk back in there, you go so far that you can't find your way back out. It's just pitch dark in all directions. And, you can start a fire back there and they would never know it.
Okay, I'm going to do this test real quick for Danny. I hope I don't screw this up. Screen. Here we go. There. Share. Okay, now where is it? Did it? There it is. And let's go. Oop. Can everybody see that or no? I might have to make it solo. And then let's see if I hit play. Is that going to do it? No. Damn it. See, I knew I was going to screw this up. There we go. Can anybody see it? I've shared the audio too.
Yeah, I can see it somewhat. You got 3 instances of you up there. Only one's.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
He got a good look at it. He said it looked like a fucking werewolf. I shot down here. I did an investigation. You can see them investigations on the Daily Dan blog, if not already up.
Excuse me.
Insane. Now, the fuck is that? I'm seeing this shiny looking motherfucking thing over there. I don't know if I want to walk all the way over there to see what's shining in the woods.
Oh, that's not it.
It's probably just a bottle or something. Yeah, fuck it. I'm pretty tired. I've been out here all day making videos and investigating and going back and forth. Heard some strange sounds. Saw some weird footprints.
Put it at the top above.
Well,
don't coming up on a place called Spivey Point, located.
Yeah, I can't do that.
About 3 miles off the road, Highway 20 in Williamson, South Carolina. Now, I've come 8 or 9 miles from that direction, hiking through these thick-ass forests behind Palmetto High School in Williamson, South Carolina, looking for the dog man, the werewolf.
Oh, that's better.
There you go.
And just about to
now try to move it.
And I'll be getting out of these bumfuck woods. As usual, Daily Dan's a dumbass.
No, it was better the other way.
Didn't run out of water today. I'm hitting about 6.5 hours now without a drink. Soaking. My camouflage shirt is literally soaking wet with sweat.
I bet I've lost 5 or 6 pounds out here today in these rankety ass woods. Doing what I love to do. Searching for cryptids in South Carolina. And I love taking you guys along with me. Even if only 30 people watch this video, you 30 people mean the world to me. Because you were with me on my investigations in South Carolina. I'm getting to hear traffic now. From the highway. That means my little wood trek is almost over today. Thought I saw something move down there.
I
Let me
like
know in the
watching daily
comments
dance
below if you
stuff
see
when he does
anything
this.
Danny misses.
You don't always see anything, but
Oh, fuck.
sometimes
Did something just move behind that tree right there, dog?
you find stuff like what looks like they could be
Oh, I hope I
footprints.
got that on camera. I swear, right when I come around, I thought I saw something duck. Let me know in the comments below if you saw anything ducking down over there. It's so far away, it's hard to tell. This camera has a really good zoom. That'd be 80 yards away and I can zoom the fuck in on it.
Has a better zoom than mine does.
Unlike the other one I got, which does not zoom really well at all, YouTube. Swear to God, I keep thinking I see something move down there though.
Sunlight dappling off the trees, maybe. Of
YouTube,
course,
there
it
is
is the
something down there
forest,
moving. That
but
motherfucker is. Whoa, right
there's
there. Did you
probably
see it?
animals out there.
Right in the middle of the screen a little bit. Whatever. What, that went again.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You probably
God
are
damn
seeing
it.
something move, but
I see
Whatever it
what you're
is
looking
just so
at.
far the fuck away. It could be a deer. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm. It's a little too tall to be a deer because it moved again on its right.
you shouldn't turn around and walk away from it. Go
Yeah,
towards
yeah,
it.
you should have done
Well,
that.
like I said, I've been in
Go
the mood
towards
for
it.
today.
Go towards
It's
it.
about time for Danny Dan.
So what if
Danny,
it's a
stay
dog,
here.
To tell you
man?
the truth, I
Danny,
would have
stay
started
here.
running.
Hey, get the hell out of here.
Go towards it.
I've been nervous to start running the wrong way. I've been running right at it. Of
Just
course,
make
that's
sure
probably
you
a bad
carry some
idea.
jack links with you. You carry some jack links with you. If it ends up being a big ass huge Sasquatch, just
But
hold
like I
one of
said,
them out to him.
if
See
you
what
see
happens.
something that the Danny Dan missed here on Danny Stain channel, please let me know in the comments below. As I tend to make videos on this channel just a little shorter than I do on the blog. Whoa, there it goes. Are you seeing that, YouTube? There it goes. God damn, I hope I got that hairy motherfucker on camera. Did you see that? There it goes.
I'm looking. I don't see it.
Oh my God. I just saw a hairy motherfucker. I hope that fuck that picked up on camera. I wish that'd been zoomed in a lot better. I just saw a big hairy thing, look like a canine wolfish looking thing run through the fucking woods on this video. God, I hope it picked up. God, I hope it picked up. Wow, it went up and around this way and down that way.
It wasn't a
I don't know
coyote.
if it was a red wolf or if it was on all fours just being like a dog man. Wow, wow, wow. God damn it. Oh, that was exciting. That was exhilarating. Looking for a dog man and see a canine? It was moving so damn fast. I never saw nothing move that fast. Wow. I'm fucking tripping, you two. I'm tripping. Please come back. I don't know. I think I got that son of a bitch on camera, YouTube. I think I got it. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you've seen it, if you can identify it, or tell me what the hell I just saw. My glasses are really fogged over. And I was sweating, but I did see the canine shape. I did see the form as it just took the fuck off. Wow. Very exciting, very adrenaline driven. It's funny that I'm on a dog man investigation and I see something like that, right? Okay, this is Danny Staten, tripping out in South Carolina.
Well, okay, well, I'm gonna check out those other ones you put the links in here afterwards. Well, that works. So I just got to figure out. I guess it's gone. Okay, yeah. If I do that, yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. There we go. Cool. Yeah. Well, this has been a good test of this whole
Yeah.
thing.
So you're limited on your ups, or
Huh?
so what's your internet? Are you limited on data?
Oh, you mean for this? Yeah, the plan that I'm on now, it gives me 7 streamings a month. I can stream 7 times a month on the basic plan that I have now, and then it has certain amount of storage. And then you can pay for better ones. I mean, the top one is like 45 a month or something like that, and you get a whole bunch of stuff. You get this thing, Comment Assistant, which is I can't use that now because it doesn't.
Now, is that for this app or for your net?
Huh?
Is that for this app or your net?
Yeah, that's for this. Yeah,
For the app?
The Comment Assistant. What? Missing something here. I'm missing your question.
Is that for your basic internet? Or just for this program that we're using?
Oh, you mean the 44 or 45? You talking about the price?
No, your limitations.
Oh, that's just for this app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in other words, you can actually make a new account on like StreamYard or something.
I could do another StreamYard account and have that one for free because they won't let me upgrade for some reason, but I can be on the free plan for YouTube. StreamYard.
That's what it was before, right?
Well, I had the basic plan the last time, which gives you more than the free plan does. But the basic plan was fine. It was perfect for me.
Okay.
It gave me enough hours. That goes by hours, apparently, of streaming. Whereas this one, they tell you, I don't know, it's not timed, like, so you don't get so many hours. I guess each time you stream, I don't know how long you get to stream for, but you can only do it 7 times a month. So yeah, I haven't figured that part out yet, but
I'd use all I could.
I'm not going to be streaming all that much. I mean, for right now, it's good enough because it's not like I stream twice a week or whatever anymore. So
I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I would really like to do encounters again, or like people have done in the past, but they haven't done it right or scientifically, which means everything else is, if you look at other sightings that are already on the internet that we have went through during all these years, there's there's a big potential for bias to be there because you might think, well, I really believe this, and it hadn't gone through a scientific process, so it's basically a bias. Uh,
Well, it's like
yeah,
any,
so it's what I was thinking is if I could go ahead and do the encounter stories and the basics, get the basics and then get the details. That way I got a couple of things, because if I go with if I try to mix what evidence we collect from that into everybody else's hypothesis, they haven't shown me anywhere, and I haven't seen anywhere on the internet or on YouTube for that fact, that anybody had taken those encounter stories or the evidence that they got through the scientific process. So all these stories, and if they did, what was their scientific process that they took those stories to? Why don't they show us, and why don't they show us their data? That's what's helpful. And so that really tells you nobody's doing it the proper way. Of course, who would know it if you're not a scientist? So it's a very complicated subject. Doing that process, just as soon as you're ready to give up, you find a breakthrough. You find out, well, you shouldn't give up.
yeah.
They made it that way for particular reasons. It's just to look extremely hard, and it's not. But
There's been several times where I've gone through in my life where I'm like, I'm just going to give all this up, but I never do.
I know you can't. If you had a sighting, you just can't. I try it, and I keep thinking, I'm giving up on everybody online. I'm just gonna eventually go out there myself and do it again, because I had my sighting almost 20 years ago, or probably more. Those things was in that area for 3 years straight in a row, in that very same spot. They come around during the very same mushroom hunting time.
Yeah, I see. I got to correlate some of that stuff.
And then just last summer, another guy seen one in that very small town. He's in they put him in the BFRO. I mean, if you look it up, there's all kinds of.
Yeah.
They hit the news and everything.
I haven't looked at the
so I know they're still there
in a long time. Because I get enough reports, by word of mouth a lot of times right here in New York, and of course that's where I concentrate on. But I got to correlate some of that stuff that you talk about, and that's why I get up with people like Mike, and I want to, and I collaborate with Steve when I can, is because I gotta. Those are some of the things, because I don't know if that's a one-off, if my encounter is a one-off or not.
Well,
I don't, I can't say there's no evidence that like I want to say him because he's the only one I've seen. I have no idea if there's more than just him out there.
Well, I'm kind of going by right.
I've got to correlate. Why was those are the things I want to answer. Is why was he there? Other than stalking the deer that day, why was he even in that particular part of the forest? Right? Why was he in that forest? Is there other things? Is he only there during a certain time of year? Is it during August? Why would it be the reason? Why would he be there in August? Those are things that I haven't even delved into yet.
Right. That's why I'd like to take encounter stories and then put them down in scientific data, put them down the right way, so you can make a proper hypothesis. Because when you make that proper hypothesis, you have a better chance. Yeah. Okay, then when you start picking up more information, you can continue to add to it. And it's very obvious that there's a lot of sightings out there where people hadn't come forward because it just sounds way too bizarre. I thought my encounter sounds bizarre. But I noticed in your last video, I think it was your last or just couple of them here a few hours back, that you thought that maybe Rasta, who you call Rasta, kind of fit in a robust uh, um,
Australopithecine.
okay, it wouldn't
Possibility
have,
stem from that. I mean, these are
okay, it wasn't a Paranthropus, maybe.
well, that was one of the robust Australopithecine species,
Right, right.
Paranthropus. I mean, and that's already been
So,
somewhat kind of suggested by even Meldrum himself by comparing the Paranthropus skull,
yeah, he's looking at Boise.
to the
He's
patty.
looking at Boise eye, Paranthropus Boise eye. But yes, that
Right.
is quite a bit like
And
the big hairy one.
after that encounter, I was of the opinion, and I'm not a scholarly man like
Right,
Dr.
you don't
Meldrum
have to.
is,
You don't have to be to look at
but
pictures.
when I first heard that, I was like, no, that's too far. I think that's too far back. But after seeing what I saw with
Mhm.
Rasta, now I'm not so sure anymore. I'm like, well, maybe that could be where it stems from. It could go that far back.
Do you think?
Maybe. I mean,
Okay.
why? What wouldn't why couldn't it have been because of certain things? It could have been that that they arose from Paranthropus. We don't have the fossil evidence that Paranthropus ever crossed the Bering land bridge, Beringia, or anything like that. But that just doesn't mean that they didn't, right? I mean, this is just
we don't have that. We don't have that evidence, but
they could
they
have
were in the
evolved
right time at the
into what
right
we know
place.
is Bigfoot, or that thing that
Uh,
I saw could be. I've always thought maybe a Homo erectus, because I wasn't thinking that it could be that far back. Maybe because, and I gave it more of a shot that Homo erectus may have made it to this continent. They made it everywhere else in the world.
well,
So for me to think
yes, it's
that
very
Homo
possible
erectus
because
never
they
got
were
onto this
right.
continent.
They were in East Asia at the right time,
I mean, they were
and
everywhere, man. I mean,
they would
islands.
have right,
So
and they could have came across over on that land bridge on East Asia at the right time. One of them, they probably would have had a softer soil over here at the time because it wouldn't have been, it had been after the ice has melted out. What you're looking at is a pretty acidy soil. So any bones that go down, are,
not really good.
they're kind of gone. If you look at a lot of the native Indians, they use mounds, and they use mounds where there's clay or a clay dirt mixture, and that clay preserves the yeah. So it'd be you'd have to look in particular areas. Not very many people dig into clay here, unless they're putting something
Right.
up,
Right.
big building up. But I was, I was just inquiring because, uh, we're finding that Homo sapiens are going farther and farther back in time by the time they got here. Um, and sure, it's like you said, there was several species at the same time, and for a fact there's more than one. There's two. I know for a fact there's more than one. So I know there's got to be more than two. It's not based because yours is different from mine, because that's what I'm trying to distinguish. If we could, I would like to be able to sit and talk with you to find out.
And I only say this because of the evidence.
Right. I do notice that you go with morphology a lot. You use morphology. Morphology is more related to a species that has changed over time. So anatomy is where you want to go into, and I would suggest, and this is what Dr. Melvin suggests to everyone. So I did what he said, and I did the morphology on just the skull, okay, of the human skull, or not the morphology. I'm sorry, the anatomy, and all the pieces of the bones inside the skull, outside the neck, the vertebra, And I haven't done, I'm kind of doing the out, I don't want to really go down because what I end up doing is I keep going into more and more. Uh, I got a link that I can give you to show you. It's really, really good to use. It's free, and you use it on a web browser. It'll show you all about that anatomy. At least I think I can give it to you. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to. It's free, but and I'll send that to you, and I want you to look at it, and I kind of go through just the skeletal part of the skull of the human, and just get the basic, like the parietals, the frontal, back here where there's an occipital bun. They don't have the bun, right? They don't have the bun, but we have the occipital, and then all of our sutures, the maxilla, our maxilla, zygomatics, our mandibles, so once you look at all those and you go around and you start getting the details and what you would call little holes everywhere, and learning all those. And then when you go to a regular hominid skull, you'll really see a big difference. That's when you'll really go, wow. And you just stay on that for a while. Then you've got your anatomy down pat. And it doesn't really take that long. It's even got little tests on there that you can test yourself. And I just start off with the very first step and done that over and over for a day. Went to the next one, done that over and over. My orders were to go through the whole thing. That was a little hard, but I got quite a way. And you would be able to compare. The reason why I would ask if you would be willing to do that is you would be a little bit more detailed in your structure of the skulls, and you would be able to look into the skull of the human evolution. You'd be able to look at those, and you would have a better chance of coming closer to what it is.
Well, I could imagine what his would look like, and I wish I could really have an example of what Rasta's skull would be, because that way I'd have something, because I can only go with facial, right? The whole thing, and try to compare it to some of the other hominins that used to exist to say, well, could it be, and does it look any similar? Because as we know, I mean, as things evolve, it's like one thing doesn't just pop out of another, and all of a sudden it's a gradual change over time that changes species and changes them to a different species. But I don't know, man. The Paranthropus, could it be? Maybe. I know that face, man, and I love when people talk about transitional species, because basically in evolution, if you look at all of it, everything was a transitional species, really.
Exactly.
You had Homo heidelbergensis, which we, both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, evolved out of, was that.
Well, that's what they thought.
Well, that's
now changed. The reason for it being is genetics and DNA came along, and it comes to find out that we're not related to those at all. And if we're not, the question is arising: where did we come from? So
yeah, we haven't got
that goes back to early Africa now.
Well,
so everything goes back. It always goes back to early Africa, but there's also species that aren't in early Africa, nor on our continent, it's in the Middle East. Let me try. Can I put a link here? And let me see if I can put a link here. And
how many places did primates actually evolve?
I'm going to put this in your host chat.
Right.
Okay. Can you go to that? You don't have to put the 13, 15, or it won't work.
Yeah, I'll see
but
it.
Copy that. This here is the scientist that redone all of these things. And I want you to scroll down and look at these things that he's done and how much he's worked on. And these are all in the Smithsonian and different museums. and he's a paleo artist that done all this work,
Yeah.
and he's really, really good at it. So you can almost bet your bottom dollar he's got it to the T, and you can start making guesses off of that from what Rasta looks like to.
Well, I just
And
know that he looks like he could be a transitional species between, I mean,
Right.
we don't know exactly which common ancestor. Like, we can't point to our split with a common ancestor with chimpanzees 7 million years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know exactly which species that was, right?
Well,
They had supposed it could be something like
right.
Australopithecus afarensis with Lucy, but
Well,
I mean, we don't really know
right.
that. I mean, we
Right.
can put it in there somewhere.
Right. When scientists look at human evolution and you see all these different genera, and when we look at it, all of them, the different groups, it's called genera. Okay, so we don't call it genuses, we call it genera, and it's a genus or genus, a group, and what each and every one of those are, and the link between one to the other. You notice how all the scientists aren't quite together on it. Well, that's
Right.
because those are that's a non empirical evidence. It's not true. All of that information is hypothesis and hypothesis only. And what they'll do is take a certain paradigm and only put a certain amount of those skulls on that paradigm. And so there's lots of other human species or hominid species that belong in there, but aren't in there, and they're the repositories back hidden in drawers and at colleges and that different repositories. So all of that is nothing more than a hypothesis. The only empirical evidence, which is your real evidence, is the skull, the bone structures, and all that. So we're taking all the bones and the skull structures and all these things that we see, and we can't date them according to their bones because some of them are just a fossil. So what we do is we take the dirt that's around it, the ground that it's in, and we carbon date that. Tells us how old that fossil is.
Yeah.
Okay, so and the tools they use that are associated with it. So what we do with all that is begin to make a hypothesis of this paradigm. So the hypothesis of the paradigm isn't correct, and it will change over time. It definitely will change by next.
Well,
but they're not keeping up with. They're not keeping up with
sound. I mean,
yeah, they're not keeping up with putting everything into the paradigm because it goes into school books and everything else. So they'd have to change the school books every day, So even scientists doesn't know where things actually belong, and we can't be certain, but we can become relatively close.
Yeah.
Where does what we see belong? It belongs in the year 2003 up beside Homo sapiens. But how far back does it go? We don't know, and that's why so that can't be used as a hypothesis that that religion doesn't exist, but there's no sense putting that in because that's not what we're trying to figure out here. What we're trying to figure out here is what are these things?
Kevin said, I'm unclear on the DNA evidence which shows the sapiens and Neanderthals are not. Well, I don't think it's not that we're.
I think they're not the same.
The DNA shows that we interbred with Neanderthals.
Yeah. The DNA shows, right? Okay.
I guess that's kind of a relation. I guess if you're using it in that word, we are related to Neanderthals.
Well, as of now, they're a part of us. Okay, but not really a part of us because there's a lot of us who do not have Neanderthal DNA.
Okay? Well, some do not. I have
we're because during that time, we were species that were closely enough related in development of a morphology that we were able to interbreed, but we were completely different.
Right.
If they were the same as us, it would look like Homo sapien genes and be a quite different Homo sapien gene, but it's not.
Well, yeah. My wife's actually got more Neanderthal than I
Right.
do, but
And Homo sapiens already existed thousands of years before that, so it's kind of
anyway,
weird.
I gotta end this one now.
Right.
And hey, thanks for coming on. Thanks for helping me test this out, man. This was a big help.
Remember that link right there, so whenever you need to go to it, you can keep up with that scientist to find out what he's popping up with next, because he's coming up with them pretty quick.
I will do that.
And he's really good at it.
And I got a bunch of stuff from Danny that I'm going to watch now here that he posted the links to. I'm going to check out all this stuff. I got to prepare for my thing tonight. Should be fun, Caledonia. I'm going to try to record it. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to. I'm torn between trying to take my camera because I'm not a very good videographer. But I was asking Mike if he was going to record it. And he said, I don't know. But if we record it, I'll put it up on the channel for those people that are in New York that maybe wanted to go but couldn't go for whatever reason.
I wouldn't. Yeah, most cameras are pretty good. But what I do is, if you see something of interest, try to hold it still there as you can. When you move fast, it's going to be blurry. So when you go from one to another, you can kind of go a little slower. But as long as you get a still spot and hold it still wherever you're pointing, or you can move real slow and then stop and hold it. But
hey, Paranormal Highway, welcome. I'm glad Danny told you about it, huh? Yeah, Danny is a big promoter, man. He's and I thank him for that. So good to see you here in the chat. This is going up, so if you missed most of the show, you can actually, you'll be able to watch it anyway. So yeah, that's cool, man. I thank you guys for helping me out. Good discussion with you, Martin. It's pretty complicated, but
it is. It's complicated. I got 2 links I can send to you, and it'll simplify it so easy for you, and you'll be like, you're not going to want to go out into the woods. You're going to want to sit down and get your information first.
Well, you're going
to want to go out.
You can email me anything at WNYBIG@yahoo.com.
Okay.
WNYBIG@yahoo.com.
Yeah, I got that. I got that link for you.
And just email anything. So
yeah,
everybody they're
real short videos, YouTube, that'll help you. So
yeah,
it was fun.
More. So and keep your eyes out, guys. Like I said, if we end up Mike ends up filming this thing that we're doing tonight, I'll try to get it up on the channel for those who want to see it but can't go there to Caledonia. And other than that, I think I might stick with this streaming right now because it is a little cheaper than StreamYard, but I might do what Martin suggested and also start and just get a free StreamYard and kind of see what goes on, see which
you could do a little bit of both.
But other than that, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff. And thanks for joining. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you soon. That's wrong one. Sorry.